Hey, what is up, YouTube? It's Sparky Marky Mark here, and I'm back to do a quick video on Halloween Season of the Witch. I don't want to call this Halloween 3, because as you've heard, there were many reviews and such about this movie, because again, the tagline is "The Night No One Comes Home" and such, and it was Universal's idea to take the film and the story away from the Michael Myers films. And how do you put the word? They wanted to do some money-making ideas with pretty good or horrible ideas to release each year of Halloween as an anthology film. And it was a money-making grab idea, sure, okay. They decided to go with it and do something with it. And and hired a screenwriter by the name of Nigel Neal, who is well known for his work on the Cratermass films. Tommy Lee Wallace and John Carpenter. Dino De Laurentiis wasn't happy with how do you put the word out? Not pleased with Nigel Neal's script writing, but it was and of course then asked Tommy Lee Wallace and John Carpenter to add in more gore into the film, and of course with not so pleased, Nigel Neal asked not to have his name in the credits. Even though and as well as Carpenter, of course. So even though three people were involved in the writing, Tommy Lee Wallace was the only one credited, and he directed the film. So yeah, and of course they had pretty ideas and other things. And when the film got out, unfortunately, it how do you call it? It was a bit of a flop. It only made 14 million against the budget. $2.5 million, and it had the feel of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, of course, and the tagline Season of the Witch that was sung by a musician named Donovan, whom Tommy Lee Wallace likes. And there are a lot of nods and stuff, and over the years, the film is liked by the public, but as a standalone film. Me and this movie, we go way back. Again, I was a bit of an 8th grader at the time. After I saw Halloween 2 on the Sci-Fi Channel, this came up, and next thing, of course, I saw the film, and I was waiting for the next, what is this? And then I was a little upset. I thought this was a continuation, but it's not. And over the years, I disliked it, but then I gave it a chance when I heard the reviews. Even of course, buying the DVD copy of the film, not the bare bones, but the Screen Factory Collector's Edition. And yeah, it has, of course, new special features, none of which have been poured over. And you got all of it, and then from audio commentaries with the actors and actresses and the actors, of course. And of course, there is the standalone, The Making of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. You have interviews with the stunt coordinator, actor Dick Warlock, executive producer Erwin Yablans, and writer-director Tommy Lee Wallace, actors Stacey Nelkin and Stacey Nelkin and Tom Atkins, and let's see, Brad Scatter, and also a lot of people are interviewed, including composer Alan Howarth, DOP Dean Cundy. It's a 33-minute and 11-second feature that has the ideas, how it started it, and then towards the release of the film, it flopped. But over the years, has gotten cult status and loved by the fans. And this is a good Halloween film, but a standalone, not as part of the franchise. Just call it Halloween Season of the Witch. That's better. 3, So after the release of the film, including the failure, but over the years has gotten cult followings. But after the release of this, the rights of the Halloween franchise went back to Compass International, to the rights owners, and we wouldn't hear another Michael Myers story until 1988. 6 years later, in 1988, called Halloween: The Return of Michael Myers. That's what we got 6 years later, of course, since they went back to that. But also, what else we have? Just a second. So we got interviews with the cast and crew, including Brian Host, if I said his name right, the guy from Console Fright Night. is in there. Not interview, but in 2010 of a screening of the film. Yes, he was interviewed. Not interviewed, but he was there hosting and introducing us to the director and writer Tommy Lee Wallace, who was the production designer and editor for Halloween 1 and 2. And also the music over the years, if anybody remembers, what is it? If anybody remembers correctly, the composing of the movie by Alan Howarth and John Carpenter. They took the music not to get any, they had to get a public domain music, not to pay anyone for any licensing, of course. They didn't want to pay no licensing, absolutely no licensing rights. So yeah, they took the theme, London Bridge is Falling Down, and put the jingle of 8 more days to Halloween, bum 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 bum. 2 more days to Halloween. Yeah. And they put the soundtrack high speed and make it sound like a bunch of kids were singing it. And of course, I'll leave the link in the description box for the theme song. And also, Tommy Lee Wallace used his own voice as the announcer in the commercial. And also, the host for the 2010 screening of Halloween, and known as the guy from Console Fright Night, is Brian Collins. Yeah, just to be clear on that. And what else? So over the years, some people like the jingle, some people hate the jingle. They call it the evil stepchild or something of the movie of Halloween or something like that. Also, another you have is Horror's Hollow Grounds, hosted by Sean Clark. Yep, they go to the filming locations where they did. Some locations are very familiar to any of you young bucks out there who have been there, and also you get to bump into the director and writer Tommy Lee Wallace. And they go to certain film locations, and the length is only about 20 minutes and 10 seconds. Which I'll leave it in the description box down below, or get yourself a copy of this movie. Either the Steelbook, regular, Blu-ray, DVD. And what else? And what was strong about this movie is the girl here, played by Stacey Nelkins. Her name's Ellie, of course. And that's the name. So they go. They start investigating, and she is the, how you call it, the strong female character. That's what she likes about the movie, is strong female characters. And of course, for the idea of the masks, of course, to those who have seen the movie, of course, just to be clear, here's the alternate artwork, the new artwork. Of course, if I zoom here, you're gonna see 3 variations of the masks you're gonna be seeing in the movie. The skull and the witches were already in it. But for Tommy Lee Wallace's contribution, they added the pumpkin to represent 3 Halloweens. Pumpkin, witch, and the skull. And of course, if anybody had gotten masks from these 3, you had them. These were possibly made during production of the film. So yeah, it is a good production and everything, but some people hated it, some people dislike it. I gave it a chance, and here is the people who were involved in the designing the new artwork. Nathan Thomas Milner, 2012. Wow. Around the same time Marvel's Avengers was released and good films came out that year, but also we got back to Halloween, as well as Halloween 2. That came, the artwork. So shout out to Nathan Thomas Milner, who did the artwork. And of course, too bad I didn't get a slip cover. I decided to reverse it. Ask me in the description box, should I leave it on this artwork or put it back to the reverse artwork? But all in all, this is a great theatrical poster. It is ridiculously cool. But I'd rather ignore number 3 and Roman numerals and just leave it as Halloween Season of the Witch. That's it. But Universal got very strong control, and they just leave it like that. Also, put the disc back. And also the actor that plays the little boy in that movie, he talks about that he signed an autograph from one of the fans of the film, and somehow another friend called him and said that that autograph he signed went on eBay for $5. Kudos to that. So I'll leave you the link more in depth of the special features. And just to be clear, I always use Maxell paper sleeves to put it on my DVDs, as well as steelbooks. Because the fact is, I don't like my DVDs getting ruined, and I don't approve it. This is what I use, of course. Maxell white DVD and CD paper sleeves. And I always get the 100 packs. I usually give it to some of my homies and homegirls who really need it, because due to the fact that you got DVDs that you got since you were in school. I've had some of mine. And just thank God, nothing bad hasn't happened. Excuse me, folks. What else? So this is the collector's edition. This is the ultimate one. Unlike those bare bones editions, DVDs and Blu-rays. Okay, to those who have it, keep them or donate to Goodwill. But if you're gonna have people sign on the DVDs and Blu-rays, the bare bones editions and this one, say you had yours signed by the director, writer, people involved in the film, and the actress and actors who are in the movie, have them sign it, of course. Keep it or sell them. But this collector's edition, don't ever sell them, because if you had yours signed, one of these days if I meet Tommy Lee Wallace, I'm gonna have him sign it. So yeah, so it's a good film, but remember what I said, boys and girls. It's a good film for a standalone, not as part of the franchise. So keep that in mind, folks. So anyway, this is Sparky Marky Mark. Have a safe October, and watch out for the freaks that come out at night. Boo-ah!